Hi guys, my name's Simon Sherritt from the IEEE Consumer Electronics Society, and we're going to do a video here with Sean Olive from the AES Audio Engineering Society President. So Sean, you've just done a keynote concerning loudspeakers and headphones, and you're hoping to have a standard, or standards. Can you talk to us about that, please?
Sure. So, as you know, headphones have really become popular the last few years, but there hasn't been a lot of updating of the standards, and we've done some research in the last 2 years that shows that people actually prefer a different headphone target response than what the current standard is. So we recently did a lot of testing of this new proposed target with over 238 people around the world, and we found that it was clearly preferred over some popular headphones as well as these existing standards.
So price is a very important thing for consumer electronics. I can buy some headphones for $1 and I can buy some headphones for $200. You want to comment a little bit about the quality and do you really get what you pay for?
Sure. So what we found with both speakers and headphones, that price is often not a very good, reliable indicator of sound quality. So I believe and part of the problem is the standards themselves aren't very meaningful in terms of how it sounds. So I think with a more perceptually meaningful standard for both speakers and headphones, from that you have a specification that clearly tells consumers whether it sounds good or bad, and then I would hope that the price would be a more reliable indicator than it currently is.
How do you tell the difference between a good and a bad speaker or some headphones?
So how we do it, we do very controlled listening tests. We bring in either trained listeners from time to time untrained people, just to make sure the trained listeners are not giving different answers. And we do a series of controlled tests, double blind, where people compare different products and they rate them based on several metrics of sound quality and overall preference. And that gives us a subjective measure of how good it sounds. And from that, we've developed objective measurements, acoustical measurements of the products, which are highly correlated with the subjective ratings. So just based on the measurements, we have a pretty high prediction of how it's going to do in a listening test.
So you're president of the Audio Engineering Society. It's a very famous society, and you travel the world. You see some of the research. Could you talk about what are the latest issues of research around the AES?
Sure. Well, first I must make a correction. I'm the past president, as of November.
Depends when we took the video.
Okay, well, right. So, yeah, in the last year I've done a lot of travel around the world. And I think the hot topics right now are immersive audio, so things like Dolby Atmos and Aural 3D. Certainly in the professional realm, there's an interest in having sound fields that are more enveloping. And there's a hope that will eventually arrive in people's homes and automobiles. And the other hot topics is I think there's generally people have reached their limits for low quality audio in terms of audio codecs. People want higher quality streamed audio, higher quality downloads, and I think that there's a resurgence and an interest in higher quality audio.
If there's a resurgence in high quality audio, is there a push to have uncompressed audio?
Yeah, I would say, there's still going to be compressed audio for a while, but the codecs themselves have improved, and we're finding even at lower bit rates they're much better than codecs were, a few years ago. But there's also a push for lossless audio as well, CD quality or better, and so now that the question is whether from a scientific standpoint, whether audio better than CD is actually perceived as better. But right now, the marketing forces are really driving, what's known as high resolution audio, which is better than CD.
We're currently located at the CES, Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, and you can't come here without realizing how much consumer equipment there is for home theatre. If somebody was thinking of investing in home theatre, maybe if you were thinking of investing in home theatre, what are the sort of things that they should be thinking about and looking for?
Well, I think we've gone through a phase where there's been format wars, and I was a victim of that. I went out and bought there was Blu-ray, and then there was HD video, which I bought a month before it was obsolete. So I think those sorts of things, obsolete formats, are a thing of the past right now. I would think you would be looking for, at least 5.1 channels, maybe more. And now there's what's known as 3D audio formats, which includes height channels. So you should probably start thinking about that. And there's certainly going to be resistance to putting speakers in the ceiling. But and then on the video side, of course, 4K video has really been big this year at CES, and you should be thinking about that as well.
Okay, thank you very much. So this is Simon Sherritt for YouTube.com, IEEE CSS TV. Thank you.